Okay guys, so now let's start to get into the hands, and in order to understand the hands, let's first understand its structure. So its bones, and also the proportions and some tips that we have here. Here I selected many images from Procode, and you can always go there and watch watch his videos, which is awesome. I've already said, but I've separated some images here that we can better understand the structure of the whole hands, right? So when it comes to the bones, we can actually separate the hands in three great groups that are, the groups in the wrist, that we have some lot of bones. We have, I think it's 8 bones over there, and it groups, it's called the carpus. So it makes the group for these 8 bones, and they are in a structure very uh, not so movable. It's more solid, but it actually has a great curvature like this, because just in the middle here we're gonna have plenty of tendons crossing there. So yeah, just as we are looking here, we have many tendons that is crossing between the extremities of the hands. So because of these bones, it makes a nice curvature that we can see this way. And it well, you're gonna see on 3D when we block out the forms. But yeah, is this the carpals group, and then we're gonna have the metacarpals group that are formed by those five little bones over here that are inside the hands, right? So are these ones over here, and as we can see, they are inside the hands. So, and notice that they form kind of an arch in its formation, you know. And another things that are quite nice to to memorize is by grouping these three middle fingers, like this one, and this one. You should be able to see like the same width of your wrist, just as you can see into this image from Anatomy for Sculptors book. you know you can take a nice tip of proportion measuring this way. So separate these three little fingers in the middle, and then you're gonna have the same size of the wrist, apparently. And then at least we're gonna have at the end we're gonna have the fingers bones that are the phalanges. And these phalanges we can see in green over here, and they make parts of the fingers. And one thing that is nice to also memorize about the hand structure is that the whole hand is gonna have the size of the face. And the face, we know, is the from the base of chin to the hairline over there. So this will be that golden proportion that we already said um, over here. And structure and bones, will be the same size of the face, and also will be the same size of the base of nose to the until the top of head. And then this this size here, the size of sternum, the size of clavicle, and then from sternum to the last vertebra, and from that to the aces bone. Well, and so this will be like a golden measurement for the body, So keep in mind this, and try to remember when you are drawing the hands, because not only when you are sculpting the hands, because it will be a nice tip to kind of measure and make a comparison if the hand size is correct or not by comparing with the head size. Okay, so about the hands proportion, what we can see here is focus on the measurements of the half size. So, oh, sorry. So once we know the total length of the hand will be one face. Okay, so once we cut in the middle, in the half, we're gonna have two parts, right? So the first part will be the hand structure, and then the other part will be the fingers. And then we can cut another time this size here, and when we cut into the middle, we're gonna have half size for the first phalange, and then we're gonna have the half size for the others too. And then once we cut again this size here into the middle, we're gonna have another size of the last phalange, at least the finger, not the bone structure, but the finger. And then at the end, once we cut another time into the half size, we're gonna have the size for fingernails, and by starting the middle hand of the last phalange. Okay, so think on the proportions of the hands by measuring by the middle size, the half size. But notice that this is the size for the joints. So once you realize this, you're gonna see that this size from the top, the fingers will appear bigger from the back of the hand, because actually the joint will be more into this region here. Okay, and on the top of hand we also have these connections over here that are filled with skin. Okay, so you should not measure the finger by starting on this region. No, you have to start from this part here, what are the joints connection. Okay, and here we have another comparisons from by the age, but you can always check on Anatomy for Sculptors book, which is also another awesome book to learn anatomy. And then another thing that we can say about the hands is that those teardrop shapes. The hand is formed by those three teardrop shapes that are formed by the muscles. Okay, so we have one into the thumb, another one over the thumb and going to the finger, and another one to the size here, to this part. And those are because of those group of muscles that we have here. And you can always think on these muscles, you know, by thinking on the chicken leg or something. I don't know how to say that in English, but yeah, it's this. And then on each finger we're gonna have those fat pads located on this region that also Proco shows us to a very nice assignment. And here we have some lot of angles to understand the fingernails and everything. So one thing that we can pay attention is that they form this curve by looking on the front view, and they are more flat on the tip, as you can see here, just with a little curvature here, but more curvature over there. Okay, and pay attention to the form of the fingers like this. Yeah, and here we have more some fluxes for the wrinkles that are formed on the hands, you know, and some of the crease. So here we have to pay attention on the form of the fingers. This one will be the thumb, okay, the thumb, and those are the other fingers. Okay, so notice that the first phalange will be more curved, and then the second one more straight, and the last one, the third, will be with this curvature. And for the thumb, we're gonna have the bone over here, and then we'll have a more curved one. And here we also gonna have another joint, you know. So this will be the point, the tip, right? So you can always think on this dog view. Okay, and here about the creases, that Proco shows us that we have some nice different kinds of crease by depending of each joint. So here we have 1, 1, 1, and 1. Here we're gonna have more a spiral one, and then we're gonna have 3, 3, and 3, and 2, and here more spiral. And then on the front of the hand, we're gonna have 1, 2, 1, and here 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. Once again, the creases and the gaps between the fingers. Notice that on the anatomy for sculptors, we're gonna have like these differentiations, you know, that are right, but in comparison of this, that is not right. Okay, so when you're going to make the creases, pay attention to have these angles, not that straight, so this will appear more natural, and when they are bending, they will be more curved one. Okay, once again, the region where are the joint. So here you can see we have half the size, and then half the size, and then here about the tendons that we have in the hands. We're gonna have those tendons from the extensor digitorum minimi, you know, by going to the minimi, and here from the pollicis brevis and longus, you know, and all those muscles here. So you can think on this part, and actually, you know, the tendons are more visible into these regions, not into this region over here. Okay, so this is more flat because of this band that we have into the wrist. Okay, and we also have to differentiate to make difference on the tendons and on the veins. They are different structures that also appears on the surface of the hands, so make sure when you are sculpting them. Okay, and this will be the general blocking for the hand parts. So this is from Michael Hampton book, so always pay attention into this curvature. Okay, and notice that the thumb region will be separated on its side. Okay, and think about the joint structures and the fat pads around them. Okay, those proportions that we said, and also pay attention on the finger structure. The top region will be more a flat surface, as you can see it here, and the inner region will be those fat pads, so it will be more curved one. Okay, and this one is a nice explanation about the finger structure. You can always think on the bones, you know, this way, and Notice the surface, surface how it is. We have these fat pads over there, you know, and the joints in the middle. So you can always think on the joints like this, and then make the middle by making the bones, and then the fat pads over there making more volume. Okay, just like this. And here another tip from another for sculptors that I separated. That are the tips a bit how to sculpt the fingernails. Not so flat, you know, and also not flat like this, more curved, and more curved like this into the tip. And here is a nice blocking structure for the thumb, so you can better understand the thumb like this. Okay, imagine like a box into this region and a fat pad into that part, right? So this will be the thumb straightened, and this will be the thumb half bent. So notice the difference on the volume and on the gesture. When it bent, it breaks the volume over here and makes this, you know, and when it's straightened, and more subtle curvature over there, and continues with that. Okay, here's some structure for the hand as well. So, and also you can always pay attention into your own hands and take this as a reference, right? So now let's position here again our peer half just as a reference page into the side of software, right? And yeah, let's add some structure to our accuracy, and then we can go over the sculpting flesh and bone, flesh and skin. Okay, so let's